agency, Family Advocacy, we work with predominantly African American families who have gotten caught up in the child welfare system. What does that mean? Their kids are gone, or almost gone, as well as just issues that we face around race and poverty.
Our clients are, for the most part, people who have had interactions with various systems, be it the DCFS system, the juvenile justice system, other kind of correctional systems, foster care system especially, and who are in need of referral services and a whole host of other kinds of support around the family.
But what we say to them is the reason you are so angry, the reason you're so frustrated is because everybody else has more power in your life than you do. And so our job, simply stated, is to help you have the most power in your own life. And they've not heard it stated that way before. And that makes all the difference in terms of their willingness to work actually on their own behalf.
We have a very progressive approach to working with African American families. Champaign County has the highest rate of African American children in foster care. And much of that is because of the way in which African American families who are in crisis are engaged with. So for example, if there is any kind of experience or accusation even of domestic violence in a home, the first step in Champaign County by law enforcement is to remove children and put them in the foster care system. And there are other types of interventions in other communities that are looked at before a removal of children from the home. And what we're attempting to do is to create kind of a powerful, beautiful space that people can come in and that reflects their beauty, and that doesn't focus on the crisis but focuses on the potential of our community. And when you go to the space, whenever anyone comes to the space, they're completely blown away because it is beautiful. It's the living room you want, it's the house you want, it's the place you want to be.
And so access to technology isn't the only issue. We have to be able to understand questions of outcomes. As a result of the access, now we have to look at questions of outcomes. How are our lives different as a result of accessing the technology? So we have to judge that as well. And when we set goals around access, you have to equally set goals around outcomes or impact.
We live in the information age. Everyone is engaged, whether we know it or not. And part of what we're doing is we're not only just integrating technology into some of the work with clients in terms of just our business practices and record keeping and that kind of thing, but we're also using our space and the computers and software and the internet to teach digital literacy to our clients. And we host a number of programs in the center. There are a number of nonprofits in the community that come into the space. And we couple that with a fantastic and robust library that we're building now so that people can also learn about everything from African American history and sociology, social work, mental health, so that not just our clients but other professionals who are working with vulnerable populations can see our library and use our library as a resource for alternative ways of engaging with the community and kind of alternative narratives of people of color rather than the traditional things that we hear that are far more derogatory. Our real mission is about creating whole, healthy communities and families. And that is really our core mission. And so we have a number of families who are not in crisis, who are also engaging with the center to support the families who are in crisis. And we think that's a really important part of building community, which is that it's not just about creating interventions, but to actually figure out what does a healthy community look like? What do healthy Black families look like? How do we create whole communities? You know, what do the streets look like? What do the neighborhoods look like? What are the resources that are there? Are there grocery stores there? Are there parks there? Are there places and outlets for children and adults to self-express? Signaling to people who are in crisis that you matter. And we focus on that in the physical environment and in our personal interactions, that you matter, you're not a statistic, you're not somebody who is just a part of a system. Your life matters, your experiences matter, and we can actually transform those into anything you want them to be.